Alright, this is the Travis Wayne Goodsell, last day of February 2019, and I hope, Mormons, that all of you had a chance to not watch Fox News, but actually watch the Cohen hearing firsthand for yourself, because Fox News will repeat the Republican pressure on Cohen, and they're not going to cover much of the Democrat side, or the one congresswoman who said that she's purple and she wore a purple outfit to match her purple district. Yeah, always go to the primary source, Mormons. Don't trust secondary sources to explain things to you. You know, even with the prophets, when the prophets get up and talk about a Book of Mormon passage, go to the Book of Mormon passage yourself. Confirm what it is they're trying to tell you. That's very key and crucial. But if you watch the primary hearing itself, you'll make lots of comparisons with the church, and it'll shock and horrify you, because the church and Trump are one and the same. You know, they don't get as radical as Trump does, but they do exactly the same things. After all, the church is alt-right and Trump is alt-right. One and the same. And the secret coding of how they get people to obey them, exactly the same thing. And not just the Trump Tower attempt to get in Moscow, and the temple attempt to get in Moscow, you know. So Russia is clearly evidenced in influencing both the church and Trump. So yeah, but the racism, the sexism, focus on money, lying about their status, it's all the same. Alrighty, so 1:30 in the morning here, so let's get to the comments. I'm guessing she thought that my reply, it's the video of the little kid dressed up in a tuxedo, and something like, I can't read it from here, it's way too small, but I remember it had something to do with, "You bring on the pigs, I release the wolves." It's about the church's mafia tactics. And so Jennifer Flower made a comment, and then I replied, and it looks like she's replied to my comment with LMAO, and I'm guessing, because I'm not too tech savvy on all this this cell phone text lingo. Is this where it began? At least I know that much. But I think it stands for laugh my ass off. So I can't remember what I said for the comment. It doesn't show it here for me. What are you doing? I have to, you know. Alright, LDS Mormon Church lies about Joseph Smith polygamy, part 3. Christina Austell is replying. G? Okay, so it's not talking about John Gee, it's G. My bishop wants not to be sealed to my first husband from Kenya because we had domestic violence. Yeah, there are exceptions. My first wife, for example, recommended a cancellation of the sealing. You're not supposed to get it unless there's a serious reason why. They usually reject you if you just do it because you just want to do it. If you're getting married, especially, you have to. But in my particular case, I'm not sure what she, on her end, gave as an excuse for why she wanted to cancel the sealing, but I'm sure it had something to do with the lies that she had told my bishop versus what she had told the first presidency on my second marriage attempt. So, yeah, she was nothing but lying to everybody and anyone, even my our friends up in Canada. They came to BYU and they invited me to spend some time with them one day, and then he told me all the stuff she was telling about me up there, and I just shake my head. Just unbelievable. And so, yeah, Canadians are not the polite, nice people that you think they are. And when they're Mormon and Canadian, oh Nelly, that's a double whammy. So stay away from the Mormon Canadians. Nothing but deceivers. Alright, he passed away and the church buried him. So the church is concerned about dating another black man instead of white men. I mean, respect their feelings, but I still have my free agency. Yeah, they're keeping you from marrying again, I guess. Or wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wants not to be sealed. My bishop wants not to be sealed to my first husband because we had domestic violence. He passed away and the church buried him, so the church is concerned about dating another black man instead of white men. Having trouble understanding the missing words in your text, so I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm to interpret this. So, but yeah, in my first wife's example, I'm sure she probably lied, similar to how she lied in the first place. But then my feeling response, as her bishop said I was supposed to give, not the facts, which really pissed me off, that the church wanted feelings rather than the facts of why. And so, yeah, I put, it was sad that she took my kids away from me and went off to Canada. It was sad that she was abusing me in the marriage. I mean, severely abusing me. I mean, we're talking physically abuse, not just verbal abuse, not sexual abuse, not just sexual abuse. She was all out trying to get me to leave her. And in the end, she realized she had to be the one to do it. She couldn't be the martyr in this case. And technically, I could have called the police and had her reported for domestic violence, but I mean, yeah, men beat their wives, but women, they're more torturous when they're are evil. So that was a sad marriage. It's sad to have three little victims, innocent victims, resulting from that marriage, that get victimized themselves as they get told lies about their father and separated from him. Alright, this is my LDS Mormon comment replies, class reunion memories, with my created picture of all the class reunion. Brian David Mitchell, Curtis Allgaier, and myself, and Mark Shurtleff, and the guy who temporarily filled in for him and was immediately removed as Utah tried to sue them for corruption, and then they just botched the prosecution, and now Shurtleff is a millionaire because of the botch. Alright. Mansand 900. The church is a corporation. Okay, thank you, Mr. Obvious. Each time, now he's saying in a different comment, he's doing 3 separate comments on the same video. Ah, man, we got another Stephen on our hands. Okay, this time he's saying, each time the church loses members, they will blame the internet and social media. Not only do they lose members, but they lose tithe payers, to then they end up losing money, and that's why they silence members. It's to keep enriching the church. Again, Mr. Obvious. In fact, I think I even said this on either this video or another one. So he's just parroting what I had said in the first place. So I get, that's fine, but just don't pull a Stephen on me. You know, I can understand. People are hurt by the church, and they're looking for an outlet to talk to anybody who will listen. So I can understand why people want somebody who will listen to them. But Stephen got excessive. He just kept posting and posting irrelevant things, but relevant to him. And what he needed to do was present his views on his own channel. And if you guys are able to have a cell phone, you should be able to do your own videos on YouTube. I think all cell phones have a video option, so you can video yourselves, and then you can upload them to YouTube. It's real simple to do. So there's no need to use your platform on somebody else's channel. So, but I understand why people are wanting to do it. But they want somebody to listen to them. But that's what YouTube was for, is for everybody to express themselves. It wasn't intended for the professionals, the Hollywood professionals, the entertainment people. It was for us. So, and they've strayed far from that. So now it's no longer a YouTube anymore, and people are now trashing other regular people because we're not as good as the entertaining people, the Hollywood people. And so yeah, people will say, "Oh, you have noise in the background. You have a poor video." You know, I don't like your personality. You know, if you just present yourself differently, you'd get more views. Yeah. You know, people want to be entertained. You know, if I were to be able to do cartoon art about the church, have a representative cartoon character about President Nelson and other characters, you know, I've seen others who have that capability, but I don't. So sorry that I disappoint you, that I'm not going to win some Oscar. You know, I'm using it for what I know how to use it as. And that's for me to give voice. And so I just ask that you guys do the same. You know, it's great that you want to come and share, like the Christina did. But Stephen got excessive. He was continually pushing to use my channel as his platform, and that was going too far. You know, other people, like MD, for example, she too wants somebody to listen and has things that she wants to get off of her chest, and I fully understand. And so, yeah, I want to listen to you guys too. I like hearing from you guys. Everybody has interesting lives that are worth hearing about. And so, yeah, hopefully one day I'll see her commenting on my website so that I can communicate through her on a more regular and personal basis. So, alrighty, but if Man's in 900, Mansan 900, however it's pronounced, is a temporary thing, we'll comment on what they're trying to say. And so, yeah, just to again reiterate it for those who never watched that video where I talk about this instance or this event that the church does. Yeah, when people are corrupt, they blame others rather than themselves, acknowledging themselves as being corrupt. So as you saw in the hearing yesterday with Michael Cohen, Cohen took responsibility. Yes, I was corrupted. You know, Trump fooled me, he blinded me, and I gave him loyalty when I shouldn't have. He had me commit crimes, and but he acknowledged what he had done, and he's going to jail for it. You know, 3 years. Yes, he acknowledged that he would like to have a lighter sentence so that he can be back with his family as soon as possible. But you know, he's not asking Trump for a pardon. You know, he's going against Trump. And what the Republicans did not get, and Fox News will not get, is that the Republicans kept pushing on him. You lied to us before. We can't trust you now. Think about that, Mormons. What was he lying about before? He was lying for Trump. He was protecting Trump last time, the first time. And that's what they were pressuring him this time. But they weren't saying, you were lying for Trump last time. No, they weren't saying that. They're saying, you lied last time. And so it would have been hilarious for Cohen to say, yeah, I lied for Trump last time. Now I'm lying against Trump. You know, that's what they should have done. But the Republicans, of course, won't do that. They themselves are behaving exactly as Cohen had behaved and finally said, enough is enough. I'm out. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to allow the justice system to punish me for what I have done for the decade that I was with Trump. And Republicans didn't catch that. When he said, You guys are behaving exactly as I did. I gave blind loyalty to Trump. And now my life is ruined because I gave blind loyalty to Trump. And Republicans didn't get it. They were putting on a show for their base. Even you Mormons here in Utah who are conservative. And you Mormons will not get it because Fox will not present it as the original hearing. You'll be listening secondhand. You will not go to the original hearing to hear for yourself. And so you won't catch it. And you won't be able to apply it to the church. Because that's what I said in the beginning. The church and Trump are the same. You give blind loyalty to the church and whoever is leading at the time. And you don't see it. So when the church comes out and confesses, hey, we've lied, here's the gospel topic essays, you just believe and give loyalty. Whatever, we still love you. Can we touch the hem of your garment? And Mormons don't see it. And then critics, they then take the lies that the church says that they lied about the lie, and everybody's fooled because nobody goes to the original source documents. And as I went over with my polygamy series videos, Wikipedia makes the huge error of referencing second-hand sources. They don't go to the primary source. So, see, even on the issue of whether Joseph Smith was a polygamist, Wikipedia referenced the church currently. Because the church gospel topic essay says, yeah, Joseph Smith was a polygamist. Yeah, okay. Not Brigham Young. He was a racist, but not a polygamist. It was Joseph Smith who was polygamist. And it's just like, oh, man. You know, pay attention to what people say. Recognize when they say it, which side of the issue they're on, if there's any kind of bias that may creep into what they're saying. You know, like Fox News. Obviously, they're Trump supporters. That's why everybody calls them Trump TV. You can't trust Fox. That's why I left Fox. I used to watch Fox all the time. I used to listen to conservative media. And I used to be blinded myself. You know, on the topic of AIDS, I listened to the conservative media that said, oh, people who get AIDS, it's because they're sexually immoral. That's what I had believed. And so when I was dating a girl and we were out for a drive and the song came on the radio, that's what friends are for. It was the song intended to raise money for AIDS research, or those who have AIDS, something like that. And I blurted out my hatred of from the conservative media. Not, you know, that's what happens when you listen to somebody you blindly give loyalty to, and said, you know, that hateful comment that people are immoral, and so I didn't like the song, and then of course the woman didn't want to date me anymore. Good for her, you know. But it wasn't until I found another news source that talked about babies born with AIDS because of their parents. And that was the turning point in me, where I realized, okay, AIDS is not just from sexual contact. There are others who are now victimized because of AIDS. And that was my conversion process. where I realized, oops, I had done a horrible thing in believing the conservative media. They lied to me, and they caused me to have hate. And that's what Mormons need to realize. Not just from conservative media, but from the church. And so, yes, when I realized, well, when my Bishop Reed Hammond here in West Valley, when he gave me the ultimatum threat, stop posting about the Book of Mormon being the official doctrine of the church, or don't bother coming to church, I realized, okay, let's find out now what the real church history is, so I can answer these questions that Mormons have presented in conflict all my life. So I can confirm whether it's the church that's responsible or if it's the members who are in conflict with different doctrinal views. Because I was recognizing leaders of the church with some differing views among themselves. Different prophets contradicting the other prophet. And so I wanted to set the record straight. Let's figure this out. And so I finally got around to studying church history and the coming forth of the Book of Mormon and Brigham Young and all that. And so now, yeah, I no longer go to church. I no longer want anything to do with the church, and I'm dedicating my time trying to get Mormons out of the church. And I realized that there's some baggage. After decades of being with the church, there is baggage in my mind, mental baggage, that I have to recognize and get rid of. And Mormons, you need that too. You know, I see it in Mormons who leave the church. I see it in you guys as well when you comment. There is that mental baggage that you're still carrying. You know, when you say, oh, the church has still got some good things about it. Yeah. Again, go back to Jesus talking about how to know prophets. You'll know them by their fruits. And it talks about a corrupt tree cannot produce good fruit. You know, and the other passage of Jesus's where he talks about giving. You know, is a person giving without expecting anything in return? Or is there some other motivation behind giving the gift? Do you want to be seen of men? You know, are you giving it begrudgingly because you have no choice? People are forcing you to give. You know, there are other reasons that would ruin the giving of a gift. And so, yeah, don't be fooled once you recognize the church is false. You know, just because the church has bishop storehouses, for example, it doesn't mean that the church is generous, because they only give in charity around 0.1%, depending on what their actual finances are. And so if we find out that their finances are a certain amount, it's not going to change it to like 35%. It's not going to be that big of a change. It's going to be like 0.14 rather than 0.1. That type of change. So, yeah, so I sort of went off of Man Sand 900 about marriage, but yeah, the church blames others rather than themselves, recognizing what they've done wrong to cause the exodus from the church. And if the church is blaming the internet and social media for why members are leaving, remember, Mormons, that the church started off on social media. Gospel topic essays, remember? And that's what sociologists are finding, is that the exodus is caused by those who are talking about it because of the church. It wasn't anti-Mormon literature on the internet. It was the church's own information that was now being available to regular members for them to watch and read. And the church is to blame for people leaving the church. The church has brought upon themselves their own curse. That's the other video title that I did. And so, yeah, it's a false blame, just like the Republicans were doing with Cohen. You know, exactly the same pattern. It's amazing how they think that they can continue to get away with it, and how people are dumb enough to actually believe them. And yes, as a result of losing members, you lose tithing, and so the church loses money. Obviously, that's what I said in the other video. You're just repeating. And that's why they silence members. It's to keep enriching the church. Well, yeah, you're missing a few things from what I mentioned in my video. When they lose money because they've lost members, they need to figure out other ways to generate money. And so it's not through silencing, it's through corruption. They have to do illegal things. They have to launder money through their LLC companies, just like Trump. Exactly the same pattern. They don't even, man. And so, yeah, the apostle that they brought in from Brazil, that's what he did. That was what he was before becoming a church leader. You know, as a lay minister, he had to have a job, so that was his job, his investments. And so the church made him an apostle, and sure enough, soon thereafter, we get the announcement, we're going to build a temple in Russia, but we're not going to tell you the church stats for this last year. And so when you find the stats, you realize, oh, you're losing membership and you're building 7 temples? Huh? Aren't you supposed to build temples in accordance with the number of money or the amount of tithe payers in the area that can justify a temple? And now we're seeing stats in Russia are nowhere near the amount for a temple. What's going on? And then May comes around, and the Salt Lake Tribune and Fox 13 News Utah is reporting, hey, the church has started these LLC companies and they've obtained $32 billion through them. And of course, Trump changed the laws so that nobody needs to report where they get their money from, because Trump doesn't want anybody to know either. And so, church announces a temple in Russia with no justification for building a temple in Russia. Then it's reported the church is getting $32 billion through these LLC companies. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what's going on. The church is compromised by Russia. The silencing of members is a different thing. That's a loyalty thing that not Trump does, non-disclosure agreements. He silences his employees. He silences everybody that's around him. He does not want people exposing him. That's why the church silences members. All right. So, and then the third comment of ManSand900 on the same video. But it's not the internet anymore. Maybe you're thinking that this is a Twitter account. You can actually have a longer comment on YouTube. I hope that's the case. But it's not the internet anymore. It's bulletin boards and newspapers causing members to leave, and members reading the hard copy. So guess what? The church still will have a difficulty keeping members regardless of the internet or not. Yeah, I don't. Bulletin boards. Is it bullying boards? I don't understand what that is. So I hope this isn't going to cause a continual pattern of... Alright. There's nothing there to comment on, or reply to. Alright, LDS dates for the return to Independence, Missouri. And again, I've said this over and over again. I've even commented in the comments section so that people understand this was pre-recognition. And yes, it's over 15,000 now, because everybody sees, oh, lots of people are watching. It must be good. This video was forced upon me by my second ex-wife. And she demanded I give a date for the return to Missouri. She did not like this because she was getting pressured. I was coming up saying, hey, wow, solar eclipse, that means the collapse of the government of the United States. Guess what? We now have a king on the throne. It's collapsed. No more Constitution. That's exactly what the symbolism is about. That's why Jesus is saying, quoting Joel and John the Revelator, also talking about it. Sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood. Do you think that was just something fun? No! It has symbolic significance of events that are to be occurring in the last days. And nobody gets that. And everybody wants to disassociate. They don't want to accept what the signs that they're pointing out in Scripture actually refer to. And all of it from the Bible comes from the Egyptians. So if you want to know what it means, you go to the Egyptians, because they're the originators. And so yes, the 21st of August, 2017, which also we learned from the thing, like hearing yesterday with Michael Cohen, Trump committed a crime on that very day. As a president, he committed a crime, and Cohen exposed it with the documented evidence, adding to the symbolism of that sign. It's just unbelievable. But but yeah, it's Monson's birthday. What? Yes, look it up. It's not a secret. Look at his birthday, 21st of August. And not only that, guess what? It was the Egyptian New Year. Egyptian religious New Year. They had several calendars, but the religious calendar, that was their New Year. The sign of the sun darkening with Egyptian symbolism behind it on the Egyptian religious New Year. Do you understand how huge that is? Nobody gets it. And it's so frustrating to use YouTube to try to let people know. And instead I'm getting attacked. But let's find out what Linda Fostick has commented here, whether it's pro or against. Obviously not a prophet and has no clue, so she's attacking me. Here we sit, I think you meant sit, in 2019, and most of the government still exists. Oh my God! She is unaware of what's going on. Albeit in shambles, it is still... That's the point! The collapse of the government! It's in shambles! She admits it! But it still exists, so it's still... My God! Dumb, people! Ezra's eagle shows more feathers. Yeah, everybody's using Ezra's Eagle. I've never paid attention to his channel. God, I really want to throw out profanity. People are so hateful and dumb and blind. Obviously not a prophet. And yet she then says, hey, he's right. Government's in shambles, albeit in shambles. But because it still exists, when the Babylonian Empire collapsed, it still existed. It's just the Persians took over. Why can't people see? They speak and they don't know what they're saying. Unbelievable, Linda. But sure, we have at least 7 to 8 years, or way longer, before Christ's return. She's now pulling the stunt that the patriarch in the stake I'm in, is doing. He talked to me in the hall when I was still going to church, and said, you know, in my day, everybody thought the world was going to end, and it didn't, and now all these years have gone by, and it's going to be the same. A patriarch! Unbelievable. And people don't get it. You know, Samuel the Lamanite channel, he doesn't get it. He's waiting for the events on the same day as the signs. And if nothing happens on the day of a sign, then it's not the sign of the second coming, or of the period of the second coming. Understand that these signs are warning signs. They're signs. They're not the thing, but they symbolize what is to be happening on earth. And all of the signs that I point out in this video, except for the one that I was trying to pacify my second wife, ex-wife, they're all rare. And so astronomers did not inform the public about this. When you have rare signs, and all these rare signs are clustered together in a couple year span, do you understand what that means? That means it's never going to happen again. It's now rarer to the rarest power. It's like infinity times infinity. It's beyond mind-boggling, and nobody gets it. And so yes, I'm frustrated trying to get the word out to people, and they don't see it. Ugh. And so now I have to I don't know, maybe I'll leave it in and I'll just comment, and yet the government is in shambles, something like that, I guess. Oh man. Oh, and welcome Neil Donaldson. You apparently subscribed twice. I don't understand why. This was an old video of mine which you missed my comments and subsequent videos explaining that this was forced upon me by second ex-wife. And yet you recognize, albeit in shambles, that is the very symbolism of the sign, yet you pull a wicked Nephite on me with your disbelief. Will she understand that? It has to do with Samuel the Lamanite. Samuel the Lamanite, not a prophet. See? Obviously not a prophet, and has no clue. No collusion. She's pulling a Trump. And so, and Samuel the Lamanite, not a prophet. Not until after Jesus condemned Nephi for not having his records. Where are the records of the prophets? Gone. Don't have them. So if Jesus Christ were to come today, what would he ask of Nelson? Let me see your records. Where's the records of the signs in the heavens that were prophesied? Where are they, Nelson? Did I not speak to Travis Wayne Goodsell about this? Where's his records? I guess we can buy them on Amazon. People are, you Mormons, you're not getting it. The Book of Mormon was a pattern of the second coming. It was secret encoding, like I told you about Cohen's hearing yesterday. He revealed it. Trump uses a code. I understood that code after being with him for 10 years. That's what he's saying. That's what the church uses. This whole sacred rather than secret, that's part of the code. The Book of Mormon is encoded, but it's encoded for a warning. Whereas Nelson and the church leaders now use it as their secret combination code of the Gadianton robbers. And so, yeah, you're not getting it, Mormons. You're not looking at the big picture here. What is happening in our day is mind-boggling. I don't understand it. I don't understand how I can't, and Mormons just won't, and they just, So, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So when Samuel the Lamanite gives his thing, they want to kill him. Nephites in the central city of the Nephites. What's the central city of the Mormons? Right here in Salt Lake City. And I'm on the internet wall telling Mormons, hey, signs in the heavens, guys. And what are Mormons doing? Thumbs down, arrow, arrow, rock, rock. It's just unbelievable. Mormons don't see it. And I just want to bang my head. Mental health will drive me mad. And so it's just unbelievable. Mormons don't get it. Mormons don't have the clue, Linda. And it's just mind-boggling. And so when Samuel the Lamanite gets chased out of Utah, Salt Lake City, out into West Valley City, where he belongs, then the wicked Nephites are conspiring for a date to destroy the good Nephites. Now that is not necessarily a Mormon thing, of Mormons waiting for a day to destroy the apostate Mormons like Des Nat is doing. But isn't that interesting? But no, it's a government thing now. The government is planning for a day to destroy America. That's what the Book of Mormon is talking about. Don't put a king on the throne. Over and over and over and over. Don't put a king on the throne. And what did Mormons do? Trump, he's going to solve our problems. He's the great white Republican hope. You guys fell for it. You betrayed your Book of Mormon. It's just unbelievable. You guys have no clue. So here's Linda telling me I have no clue. And she doesn't get it. She doesn't see it. And she's probably not going to understand my comment because she doesn't understand the Book of Mormon. So I'm currently talking about your blind comment in a video that should be uploaded by the time you wake up to read this reply. Unbelievable, Linda. You represent Mormonism. And you are making a false accusation of which you yourself are guilty of. That which you complain in others reveals the same and worse fault in yourself. Or, as Jesus put it, why say ye that others have a mote, or is it a beam? I think beam, when you yourself have a mote. It's just, nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. Unbelievable. Alrighty. Thank you, Jennifer Flower. Jennifer Flower, a fresh breath of a flower. Alright, so she's replying on my BYU police busted for covering up sexual assaults. And she, wow, the things of nightmares. Yeah. Okay, Justin Masterston. Crazy stuff. What's next? They will get out of it. I am sure they have a team of lawyers working on it now. Yeah, but the church's lawyers really are dumb. The church's lawyers are the ones who said, let's just settle the cases, we'll go through mediation, and we'll have them sign a non-disclosure agreement about how much money they're getting, and they can't talk about the case anymore. And as a result, people are catching on. And so now a flood of complaints are coming in, and they have to settle all of them because they didn't stand up for the church in the first place. And the church said, hey, let's just cover it up. And now they're getting beat up. It's just that simple. You never plead guilty. You know, even if you are guilty, you don't plead guilty. You have a court determine your guilt. And yes, if you're guilty, you're going to do a lot of time. Whereas if you pled guilty, you can do less time and get away with your crimes and get a slap on the wrist. But no, always plead not guilty. Don't let the prosecution bully you around, especially when you're innocent, and you will suffer. They will find a way to incarcerate you without a trial of guilt. So, but yeah, understand, Justin. You know, church's lawyers are dumb. You know, when church security went and attacked the gay people who were just kissing on Temple Square, which I'm sure they were doing as a mockery. But nevertheless, church security banned them from Temple Square. Oops. So that started off the whole gay movement that the church is now having to deal with. What, you guys don't remember that? I do. Advertising. Go away. Alrighty. We're at 55 minutes. At least I know MD listens to the very end. Hi, MD. Okay. Colin Peterson on my LDS Mormon Church Secret Combinations Exposed, which is I realized after I was uploading it that I had another video similar to it with the Secret Combination 1488, which is what I found out from that comment reply. Alright, secret combo. Now we get into the secret locker. A locker needs a combo. Okay, I don't fully understand. Because everybody has their experiences in life, and thus they see things in the way that they've experienced. So I haven't seen his way of experiencing, so I don't understand what he was saying. Alright, and then Velami Naiyata. I probably butchered that Polynesian name. This fool is twisted. Bye-bye. She just doesn't get it. You can't verbally attack people, Viliani. Just gotta stop. And of course, either she or somebody else put a thumbs up with her to support her. And 4 hours ago, well, it was around 10 o'clock, I guess. Let's see, hide user from channel. Because that was abusive. That was not just an ignorant comment that needs to be removed. That was a situation where she is beyond hope. So I have to hide her from my channel altogether. You know, I don't want to do that, but you guys leave me no choice. You cannot silence me. That's what she was doing. She's calling me a fool, which means other people can read it now. And then she's saying I'm twisted. She doesn't give examples. She just makes the accusation without supporting evidence. Remember, Cohen presented evidence. What's on the thumbnail, guys? The evidence. Not just of Cohen presenting the check with Donald Trump's signature on it that's now gone worldwide, which is how I got it, but also Irene's check that went worldwide. But Mormons refuse to accept it. Oh, it's a lay ministry. No, it's not. For the leaders. And so Viliami, she doesn't get it. And I'm assuming it's a woman. You know, there's no picture. So you can't just come out with an accusation. That's called an ad hominem. And Mormon apologists use that as their favorite tactic. You know, again, apologists are those who defend, that's the definition of apologist from the Greek translation, defend a position with unsound reasoning, unsound argument. And that's what the Mormon apologists at BYU do. They defend the church with unsound reasoning, such as ad hominems. You know, they attack a person's character rather than talking about the issues. Because if you talk about the issues, oh no! They can't defend it. Just like the Republicans yesterday questioning Cohen. They never argued about Donald Trump's signature. Not discussed. Oh, you lied defending Trump last time. How do we know you're not lying now? It's just, oh, man. So, yeah, that which she complains in another person and falsely complains reveals the same and worse fault in yourself. Viliami just revealed they are the fool and they are twisted. Not me. False accusation reveals what they are. It's a projection thing. She's projecting onto me how she or he sees themselves. So that's why you guys can't do that. I'm trying to help you, Mormons. Don't attack me. It reveals who you are. So maybe that's my video, or the title for the video. LDS Mormons project who they are in attacks on me. Something like that. I'll have to write it down because I'm going to forget. Mormons project hatred. See, I've already forgotten it. On me. Exposing. So I'll have to figure out how to word this. Exposing themselves. Alright. Oh, man. Okay, MD. So I know you're the only one listening at this point. So I'm sure you're finally getting around to this over the weekend, probably. And hopefully you're communicating with me over my website. Keep waiting. But you said you were going to get to it around the weekend, probably. Because you're very busy this week. I understand. Alrighty. Is that? Nope, one more. Okay. Alright. Today's LDS Mormons must choose sides. So that was a cool clip. I put in FDR. I never liked Trump, and he never helped the disabled people to find jobs. I see disabled people living homeless now. Yeah. And it's sad because the government purposely creates homelessness. And then psychiatrists come in and say, hey, these homeless are not homeless because of the government. No, these homeless are homeless because they're mentally ill, disabled. See, Christina? That's how the government does it. They won't blame themselves, take responsibility. They get other people to blame other things, other people, themselves, victimizing the victims. Okay, Mansan 900, oh boy. Effects are items of property in the Fourth Amendment. All people should remember this. I already discussed that in another video. Mansan 900, are you actually listening to my videos? Is that why you're repeating what I've already said? Get your own channel. And then James Wines. The Mormon church is nothing but garbage and the little white speck on the top of bird dung. Or bull in this case. See, he's doing the reverse ad hominem. But I understand where he's coming from, but you need to give specific examples, people. So yeah, I have to delete this, not ban him, but I just need to delete this. So James, if you're listening, and I'm sure you're not, I have to delete your comment because there's no substance behind it. You can't just blanketly attack a position. Even though I agree with you, you can't do it this way. You have to fill in an example, at least one. Okay. Alrighty. So that's it for these comments, and we'll figure out what to do about a title. I'm going to put in a plug for my old friend who has now betrayed me now that I'm no longer a part of the church because of the bishop betraying me. It's a different kind of strong, Daniel Trotter. He's got a CD out now. I was anticipating it, asking him, hey, let me know when it comes out, and he says, I don't think I'll ever get to it, and he got to it and didn't tell me about it. So, but yeah, he no longer communicates with me, so that's sad. You know, Daniel wrote the book, A Different Kind of Strong, also, and he came from a background of being in a gang in Los Angeles, and he goes over that in the book, telling the story of how he got out of it, and all of the things that gangs do, and he doesn't see it with the church. That's the sad part, is that he, of all people, should recognize what the church has been doing to him in the exact same manner that the gang did to him when he was in the gang. He doesn't see it. And yeah, I saw it immediately. Even before I knew what the church was actually doing. Because he was into his book, going around trying to get people to let him lecture at their church wards, giving firesides. And he was trying to promote his book, so he has to let people know about it. And I had a venue here in the local library so that he can give a presentation of it. Was able to sell books, and we had to do it outside because you can't sell things inside the library. So, oof, that was a close call. But yeah, I know Daniel, and good guy. It's just sad that he is taking my leaving the church hard. And it wasn't me, it was the bishop who caused this, Bishop Reed Hammond. People don't get that. So it's sad to have a friend just say, okay, we can't be friends anymore. I can't associate with you anymore. But yeah, it's sad. He lists in the book exactly what the gang did to him and how he was blinded, just like Cohen gave his hearing yesterday and told all about it. And Daniel doesn't see it. You know, he doesn't see that the church represents Republican Party for Cohen. And Cohen got it, saying, hey, Republicans, you're pulling exactly what I was doing when I was blinded. And Republicans refused to see it. Just like Daniel is refusing to see what the church has done to him. And so when he was promoting his book, he was silenced. And I could tell, because he didn't say that that's what happened to him, but all of a sudden he's just giving up on pursuing the book. And I told him, it takes years. If you're just going to do one, it's going to take years. And he had greater access. He was doing great sales right at the beginning. So he was doing better than I did with my one book at the beginning. But I learned, hey, Amazon's allowing me to do this for free, so why don't I just put all my books out there? And sure enough, more variety to choose from, people of different interests are able to come, rather than just one book, and it's all about himself. You know, he got fooled into a guy who gives lectures, oh, do a book about yourself, even though you've done nothing in your life. People want to know about you. They don't want to know about what you do. No, guy, no. And I couldn't tell Daniel that. But he tried to get me on that, and I said, well, I'm already on Amazon. It was just like, oh, okay, well, you do that different tactic, and it works for you. Yeah, no, it works for everybody this way. So when there are like certain people who do books, or yeah, they come out with a book, and it's a bestseller. It's not because they did a book about themselves. It's about what they have done that people know them for. And so people then want to read their book because of what they've done. You know, the Fire and Fury guy, the Omarosa, you know, they know those people and what they were doing. They were involved with Trump. And they go, oh, I want to read her book now. That's how it works. And this other guy that was saying, oh, you've never done anything in your life, but your life is still worth something. And he was promoting that, and Daniel fell for it. And so, yeah, you got to put all your stuff out there. That's what I was saying. Get your music out there, too. Get all sorts of stuff that you are talented in. Get it out there for people to experience and share with them. And he was silenced by the church. And the way they silenced him was, hey, Shiny Keys, here's a mission call. So that was for his loyalty in quitting his pursuit of his book. That's how the church works. And it's sad. Alrighty. So that's it for that. And I still have an hour and 20 minutes before I can go running. I don't want to go out too soon. I'll be with the thieves and the robbers. So, and the gang members. And I'm not going out with my phone anymore. So, oh, they're listening. They're now going to know. Oh, okay, Travis is not doing it. Yeah, they already know I'm not doing anything. But I'm not bothering now that I'm starting back up again. I'm not bringing my phone to call the cops if I see something, because I'm not saying anything. West Valley City Police betrayed me, and even though the problem has apparently gone, isn't that interesting? And other people in this building also noticed that. Yeah, they haven't come by lately. Yeah, me. I chased them out. And but yeah, I still need to do a video on that to explain that. And how it's a problem here in Utah. So, alrighty. But yeah, I'm still worried that they're going to try again, because that's what they do. You know, they pretend to retreat, but then reinforce themselves to make another attack. But yeah, the police were involved, and I had to call the police on the police. And so that was not good. And so now the police, I'm sure, don't want anything to do with me either. And so that doesn't help the situation. They're the police. When I need help, I need to rely on the police. And so when I called the police about a problem that I needed resolved and help with, they didn't help. And then they blame me for turning them in, for not helping? Come on, guys. But I doubt they're watching. You know, They're looking for a title that specifically focuses on them, if they're looking at all. So yeah, I need to do one for them anyway, if they're actually watching my stuff. Alright, we're done. Have a good day. I know I will. Alright, so yeah, Cohen will be in the secret meeting today. No public stuff today. So now we'll find out Trump's responses from his tweets, which I'm sure have already come out, so I just need to go to YouTube and see what Trump is replying. And he can't come home. Trump cannot come home. The evidence is against him. Because what this means, if Cohen is presenting evidence against Trump and his family, do you know what that means? That means the prosecution, the SDNY, the Mueller probe, they already know. And they approved Cohen's plea of guilt because they verified it. They've got Alan Weisselberg, the accountant of Trump. They've got him. He testified before a grand jury. So they've confirmed a lot of this stuff. He's still subjected to being arrested. They can still do it now, especially since Cohen revealed that he's a part of it. And Junior, he can now be busted now. And Ivanka, and even Eric, even though the congressman didn't say Eric, he was focused on Junior. Don't forget about Eric, guys. He's just as dumb. So take him down too. But don't forget Pence. Don't leave Pence to take over the government. Alright. So that's enough of that. The government has collapsed, guys. The sign in the heaven already happened to illustrate it. Linda. Alright. Breathe. Have a good day.